Treehouse is an online education company that teaches people about technology. The company's revenue has grown 120% since it started in 2006. It generates more than $10 million a year in sales. It's an incredible success story. They've had over 70,000 customers. And what makes this company stand out even more is that they have a 4-day work week. Ryan Carson is the CEO and owner with his wife. He said, quote, "I remember distinctly my wife and I were on the couch one evening and she said something like, 'What are we doing? I thought that starting a company means you have more time and more control, but it seems like we have less time and less control, and we're more stressed out.' So they decided to cut back by not working on Fridays, and after they hired their first employee, quote, 'We decided to officially enact a 4-day work week and we never looked back.' So Carson has since started 3 other companies at which he instituted the 4-day work week as well. Quote, 'The quality of the work, I believe, is higher. 32 hours of higher quality work is better than 40 hours of lower quality work.' And the impact on his employees' outlook is also massive. He says, quote, 'I find I just can't wait to get back to work after the weekend,' and he suspects the same is true for others. On Mondays, he says everybody is invigorated and excited. He recounted a time when a developer told him that his hope was to work with the company for 20 years. And I should also mention workers get paid the same salary as other tech companies, and they work 4 days instead of 5. The other places are working 5. He says recruiting people in the first place is really easy thanks to the shorter week. Quote, 'We regularly have new employees choose Treehouse over Facebook, Twitter, and other top-tier tech companies.' And the company receives $13 million in venture capital also thanks to their higher efficiency. So I have 4 words for this. This is the future. This is the future, man, I'm telling you. Now, I don't know when something like this will become more widespread. Your guess is as good as mine. In fact, I'd venture to say we're probably a long way off from getting it enacted at a federal level or even at a state level, just having that as the baseline. But I do think it's the future. Because what we're doing right now is unsustainable and kind of ridiculous. We have all this technology around us and so many people, too. We live in these massive societies. And you're telling me we haven't figured out something that is more efficient where, we could have machines do a lot of the work, or we could have some sort of what's called a rolling work week, which is, one group of people works 4 days and then another group of people works 4 days and you overlap and both work on 1 day also. But you see what I'm saying? So it's like you have the business open all week long, but there are like 2 separate work weeks, and you could be on one shift or the other. I mean, there's so many ways where you can structure a society and an economy and a work week where you're actually incentivizing people to be more fuller human beings and to actually experience what they want to experience in their lives, whether it's traveling or hanging out with friends or family or finding passions in their leisure time. Because let's face the reality, man, the overwhelming majority of people are not working jobs that are their passion. And for everybody that is, that's fine, man. We're not mandating you work 4 days a week. If you want to work longer, by all means, work longer. If you're doing what you love, go right ahead. But the idea is that you shouldn't punish people who are working jobs that it's not their passion by making them work the same hours as somebody who loves their job. Isn't that crazy? And look, I get it, man. I'm not with the zeitgeist movement people who really want to overthrow everything and start from scratch and have these communal societies where work isn't even really a thing. I'm definitely more capitalistic in nature than that, but I understand that we need to have a capitalism that actually harnesses what human beings want to do in their lives. So, yeah, you have to buckle down and suck it up, and you got to go to work 4 days a week. Sorry, it is what it is. You got to pay your dues to society. But, hey, you get a shitload of time off, and in your time off, you can do whatever you want to do, man, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. So this is definitely the future here, and I've made this point before, but I'm amazed by the fact that nobody else talks about this, I think I'm the only one that talks about this. And I know I'm not the only one who believes it, that we need to have a shorter work week. But it's like you're viewed as crazy if you bring it up. Meanwhile, in 1910, William Howard Taft, a Republican president, wrote in the New York Times that he thought every working person should get 3 months off paid by law. Back in 1910, that was the conservative Republican position. Today, if a liberal says that, they're called a communist and they're laughed at. But what's the alternative? The alternative is shut the fuck up, work every day of your life, or work the overwhelming majority of your waking life, and you simply exist to be basically a spoke in a machine that is the economy. You've just rented out your labor to your corporate overlord, and then you die. Yeah, what a great existence. Is that how we want to continue to live?